Good morning. This morning we read the book of Haggai, one of the minor prophets. The minor prophets are called the minor prophets because their prophecies are shorter, not because they carry any less anointing. In fact, when we see these prophecies of Haggai, they were very powerful. They made a big difference to the people who first received them. Haggai prophesied. Just the only recorded prophecies of Haggai are these short ones here. They just stretch to about 38 verses and were given in just a few months, just a few month period, but were really powerful words from the Lord. He was prophesying at the time when the people had returned from exile, and logically when they returned from exile they said, right, we've got to make sure we've got food for our families, we've got to make sure our families got a place to live, and then we can have energy and time to build the Lord's house. But they went further than that. They said it's not time to build the Lord's house yet, but by then they had been able to decorate their homes, they'd been able to relax in the land, and still hadn't turned to building the Lord's house. And they had dishonored God in this way of ignoring the spiritual life of the nation and just looking at the physical life. The Lord had returned them to the land, he blessed them again in the land, and yet still they didn't honour him. So Haggai prophesies into this and says, look, the Lord will not bless you if you dishonour him. And so there they were challenged. My house remains a ruin, but each of you is busy with your own house. And so I've not blessed you because of that. And when God gave this message through the prophet Haggai, the people feared the Lord, and the commander began to build the house of the Lord. Together with the high priest, they began to listen to the Lord and build the house. Then they said, this house that we're building will never be as good as the house that was destroyed at the beginning of the exile. But God said it's really a thought that God doesn't look on the outside but on the inside. And God said to them that he was going to pour his glory into this present house. The glory of this present house will be greater than the glory of the former house. So imagine Solomon's temple in all of its splendor, yet the glory of this house was going to be greater. Obviously it wasn't going to look better, it wasn't going to look more magnificent than Solomon's temple, but the presence of the Lord and the loyalty of the people would make this a more holy place. And then he goes on to say that, look, you were defiled, you had rejected the Lord, but now the Lord is going to bless you. From this day on, I will bless you. Know you've turned to me. Know you've become obedient. From this day on, I will bless you. And one day, through this nation will come the one who will overturn royal thrones and shatter all the power of foreign false kingdoms, and the Lord will reign. From this nation will come the one. And this building of the temple is a promise that that's going to happen. So my servant Zerubbabel, I will make you like a signet ring, for I have chosen you. So the one who is the ruler of God's people will be the ruler of the world. We look for the coming of the Messiah. We look for his second coming, this time in great glory and power, to reign across the world. And here was a sign that God was faithful to his people. He restored them to the land. They rebuilt the temple. The temple was glorious, and now that's the signet ring, the seal of God's promise that one day a Messiah was coming who would rule all nations.